Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, we're on the verge of a huge fight. It's middleweight. We got DeGale, battle Jack. Both guys not really the biggest of names, but it's still a big fight for the hardcore boxing fans because both guys. In a way, in a sense, I'd say more for Jack. Jack is, they both, I feel, to become champion and defend their titles, they both taken a very good route to get there. They proved themselves to be legitimate champions. So I see this as a unification of two legitimate 168-pound champions. But I look at this fight from the standpoint of James DeGale, right? 24 fights. He's done a lot in boxing. The first British fighter to win a gold medal and a world title. Nobody had done it before him. Anthony Joshua went on to do it, but he did it before Joshua. As far as I'm concerned, I look at James DeGale. Look, I gotta say it like this. This is before the Jack fight. So if you're gonna watch this video after the Badu Jack fight, if he lost, I don't want to hear anything about you were wrong. Like, this is just my perspective on everything. I look at James DeGale. Like I said, gold medal, deep amateur pedigree. As a fighter, complete fighter, he's got good power, both hands, very athletic, very tricky, sets up creative angles to get off his punches. Not an easy guy to beat, let alone look good against. His only loss is against George Groves, which was very early in his career. He fought George Groves in a close fight, and that wasn't his 11th fight. Since then, he hasn't lost, and he's beaten some decent names along the way. I would say he beat Dia Davis, who was decent, a decent fighter. But then I would say DeGale really began to come into his own. Obviously around he beat Marco Antonio Paraban with a stoppage. Paraban was never looked at as a top level fighter. But I'm saying you look at the last 3 fights, right? So he beats Andre Dirrell to win his world title. Andre Dirrell, Olympic bronze medalist. In my opinion, and probably the opinion of many, if anybody watched Carl Frochter's Dirrell, James DeGale is the only man to beat Andre Dirrell, and he beat him, convincingly. Knocked him down, damn near knocked him out in 2 rounds. If you guys go watch that fight, Dirrell was saved by the bell. So it looked very good against Andre Dirrell. I'm the only guy to ever beat Andre Dirrell. That's how he gets his world title. Very legitimate. Then he could have taken a solid touch after that. And what does he do? He goes and he fights, on the road nonetheless. A proven, battle-tested, and more than likely juiced up Lucien Boutte in Canada on the road. Boutte, we know his resume. Was a champion at super middleweight, made about 7 or 8 title defenses. Was probably one of the more feared fighters in boxing. Andre Ward did not want to fight Boutte; wanted no parts of him. So beats Boutte. Boutte shows some championship medal, showing the resolve that made him the great fighter he is. But DeGale did enough to get the win. Beat him pretty convincingly in that fight. Then he takes a softer touch in journeyman Rogelio Medina, but Rogelio Medina has been known to upset some prospects. He upset Jillian Love, I believe it was. And now he's fighting Badu Jack, a guy who, when you look at him stylistically, is kind of, ironically, he's kind of what Mayweather always preaches against, which is being straight up and down with no special effects. That's Badu Jack. He's good at very many things, but a master at nothing. And to me, that'll be the difference in this fight. So if he's able to beat Badu Jack, you're looking at James DeGale as a unified 168-pound champion. And you got to look at the last 4 wins. You look at Boutte, Dirrell, Porky Medina, Badu Jack. DeGale is doing big things, and he is in many ways validating why some of the top middleweights didn't want to fight him. Carl Froch didn't want to fight him. Andre Ward didn't want to fight him. A lot of guys don't want to fight this guy. To be honest, look, I like GGG. Big GGG supporter here, but I think GGG's team is very reluctant to take the fight with DeGale because he obviously is a 168-pounder. That's number 1. 2, unlike a lot of GGG's opponents, this guy has a deep amateur pedigree. Was a gold medalist in the Olympics. And stylistically, I think he could be someone that could give Golovkin some problems. So that's another guy I feel, maybe not Golovkin himself, but his team might be reluctant to take that fight because at the end of the day, he's not a huge name, and it's very, like I said, high risk, low reward. So it doesn't make business sense to take that fight for Triple G and his team. But I'm looking at James DeGale, personally, to me, going into this fight with Badou Jack as the most underrated champion in boxing right now, because this guy has done everything the right way. He's from the UK. He's come to America. He's beaten a very good, people are going to say Andre Durrell wasn't the same Andre Durrell, but still, nobody had ever beaten Andre Durrell. He was a very game opponent for that fight. Beat him more convincingly than Carl Froch did. Carl Froch got a gift. First title defense. Right after that, says, you know what, Lucien Boutte, I'm gonna go right to Quebec. I'm gonna go right to Canada. I'm gonna take you on in your backyard. Beats him. Has a bad performance against Porky Medina, but it happens in boxing. He had a letdown, and now he's gonna fight Badou Jack. This guy that's probably the second best outside of himself, and he wins this fight. He is the guy at 168. So if you're looking at James DeGale, you're looking at a guy who deserves to be on any and all pound-for-pound list if he wins this fight in convincing fashion, due to his skills, due to his resume, due to how he's won his titles, defended them. He's a guy at super middleweight, so that will justify him being a top guy at 168. And I'm just looking at DeGale, man. I don't know how much he's got left in him because he's 30 years old. And I would like to see him just continue to, I think DeGale has a great chance to become an undisputed champion, because I look at the landscape of the division at 168. There really aren't, it's not a deep division like that. I mean, I would even be led to say that it might be the thinnest division in boxing as far as like talent goes, because you look at DeGale, you look at Jack, and then not so much after that. You have, the Gilberto Ramirez's of the world, guys of that nature, but really this division is thin. You got, and the rest of the guys coming up are pretty much, prospects. Caleb Smith, Caleb Plant, these are guys, Jesse Hart. These are all guys that still got to make their name, stake their claim, and ultimately prove themselves to be legitimate contenders in the weight class. So there's not a lot for DeGale. I think, if there was a guy who he could do what Andre Ward failed to do, which is become an undisputed champion. He could put himself in the record books with the Joe Calzaghes of the world, guys who really stake their claim in this division. So I'm looking at this fight for DeGale. If he can win it, it's a fight where, I think the boxing world, and not even just the boxing world, not even just other people, myself as well, we need to take more notice of what James DeGale has done if he's able to beat Badou Jack, because the guy is a legitimate champion going into the fight. He's fighting another legitimate champion in the biggest fight of his career. He's went on the road of beating top flight opposition, and he will now be a unified champion. So DeGale, just from what he does in the ring, how he's able to change levels, set up his angles, being able to have power to keep guys honest and drop them, being a counter puncher, being awkward. Being awkward, I feel in boxing is a skill. A lot of people don't talk about it, but because being awkward is more so in your mannerisms and how you move in the ring. But DeGale is awkward with the rhythm, if that makes sense. Guys, some guys are awkward because they're awkward. You look at Victor Pulse. Victor Pulse is awkward just because he's awkward. But DeGale, he's awkward with rhythm. He's almost it's a controlled sense of awkwardness, and he can kind of just set up whatever he wants to do in the ring. And that's where the amateur pedigree comes into play. So, listen, man. James DeGale is a guy that on my channel I don't cover. I'm kind of pissed. I'm a little pissed because I was supposed to go to the Fish Street Gym while he was here. He was here for a couple days. I could have ran into him and probably got an interview with him. I didn't get a chance to do that, so hopefully it happens in the future. But this is a guy that I feel even I should be giving more credit to. He's fought really good opposition in his last couple fights, proven himself to be a good champion. And look, I know George Groves, I believe he's in the mix at 168, if I'm not mistaken. He might even be in running for a title, and that's DeGale's only loss. And that was a big rivalry. Groves was the man early in their careers, but it seems to me like the cream has rose to the top, and that'd be a fight I would love to see down the road. George Groves just picked up the WBA International title, so that means he's probably in the running for a world title. I'm pretty sure. So we'll see what happens, man. Maybe that fight happens down the road. I would love to see a DeGale Groves rematch. Settle the score there. If DeGale can beat him, that loss is wiped clean off his resume, and you can look at him as a pretty much undefeated fighter. So what is it not to like? Deep pedigree, legitimate champion, good personality, power, everything you can want. So James DeGale, Badou Jack, great fight. I think James DeGale is the truth, man. Definitely one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated champion in boxing right now. And I would love to see him in the future. If he does beat Badou Jack, fight the likes of, obviously anybody who has a title. So Gilberto Ramirez, George Groves, Caleb Plant, if Caleb Plant can get in them rankings, Jesse Hart, anybody with a name who thinks there's someone at 168. I want to see him fight. I want to see this guy fight anybody. I think he's a true talent, and I feel like most of us fans should take more recognition of him. So we'll see what happens, man. I think Badou Jack's going to be a good fight. I don't want to say no fight is easy in boxing, but I feel stylistically he should really, honestly, I'm expecting from James DeGale maybe a tough fight in spots, but if he's able to go in there with 100% focus and do what he's capable of doing, this should honestly be. And maybe I'm kind of underestimating Jack, but he has the potential to go in there if he's focused and zoned in and everything's on point to put on a masterclass performance. Because while Badou Jack is a good fighter and he can get away with beating guys who are decent fighters, solid fighters, but not world level, Olympic gold medalist type fighters. I just think DeGale is in position in this fight to put on a masterclass performance and really stake his claim in the boxing world. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But yeah, man, James DeGale, the most underrated fighter in boxing. If he wins this fight, we got to take more notice of him. The guy is doing his thing at 168, and he'll probably be the guy after Saturday night. In my opinion, I think he's gonna win. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Ding. So until next time, take care, guys.